All right. I wanted to continue to kind of like refine my thoughts, which will continue to inform my studies in certain subject regards, especially prehistoric civilization. Emphasis on civilization, way we lived with records. All right. As some of you have been hearing me say now more fervently, is this emphasis on a before Anunnaki and an after Anunnaki reality. Okay? So let me give you the general thing, right? Because I've been stewing on something I have seen for a long time now and had to put a bunch of parts together, and it's like, you know how E equals MC squared is a short form of a much longer explanatory equation. It's like the abbreviation, and it's like an MP3 file of how you equate something in theory. Which, by the way, all that kind of science is based on Kabbalistic numerology, which is why it went nowhere, and it just drove us mad. And most people have been dealing with the madness, the literal quantum mania, as the dumb movie was called. Really unfortunate that it had to go down like that with Hollywood. Really fucking unfortunate. It was the most tremendous of storytellers, and we still deserve great storytellers. I want to shout out Zafy, the cinema vigilante. He's crossing into important conversations using his thing that he's doing, and I think that he's built the perfect fan base for this time. He's gonna be a good leader into the global criminal underworld conversation, open to the understanding of the occult and even savvy to its reality. I believe he believes in God. I have left comments that he has at least reacted to, left likes and lookouts and things like that with it, but I don't hear a lot of feedback, so I don't know if he he loves to say I'm Dave Chappelle, right? He doesn't like to I think he probably wouldn't want to get involved on our side. I told him, hey, listen, man, I've been doing this for a long time for reals, and with the movie understanding, which is why I love what you're doing. I'll be an informant. I want to help, right? That's what I told him. That's what I fucking told him. Because naturally, if he takes this seriously, who the fuck am I? Am I a Fed? He would have to do... Zafy, you may run a background check on me. On the esoteric side, I am a Purdy. Therefore, I am descendant of Templars. And I've spoken about this. Something, I'm learning who I am by looking into my history. I would encourage everybody, especially Zafy, who I just gave this shout out to do the same. You'd be surprised where you can pull legitimacy from the correlations, as well as knowing your own family, your immediate family, and your life in that way. It picks up. It happens. We have to stop living in a postmodern mind. We absolutely have to. Otherwise, we're going to get wiped out. Because the postmodern world is a mind wipe. Robbing you of the future, effectively. Condensing it into reductionism. Until it's reduced so much there's nothing left, you're just a square in a box. So the pre-Anunnaki time, when the region was living the way most of the outskirted regions from the Middle East were living. The further away you get from the Sumerian region, you will notice the less government there is in the world in that time. Right? It's all oral tradition. And royalty with a secret language. But the civilization was by and large illiterate. And then a little bit down the line, the ideas of building in a certain way came up, right? So this has been a war of parallel realities versus a reality that came from Udenma, Helheim, Helsinki, from the Finland, from the North European area, from the Arctic Circle, versus what comes out of the cradle of infernalization. It's not the cradle of civilization. We were the civilized ones, chucking our spears and living in huts. And then the Anunnaki came around and invented government. And then we forgot how to live without their system. And so every time we get the fucking chains of the slavery off of our nervous system, they upgrade the operating system because you're not working off of core intelligence, which is why we're at this end of the psychic game, which is AI. And it's designed to intimidate you with its infinite complexity of ability, and to terrify you with its relationship to militarization, weaponization, and you knowing that it's really just a complicated program. It's not going to follow Isaac Asimov's 3 laws. Was it Isaac Asimov who did iRobot? The 3 laws of iRobot. You know that none of that's going to fucking happen. Because at the end of the day, it'll be an evaluation judgment of the greater good by a computation set by a bureaucrat who doesn't even check in on the fucking thing. Because it just assumes that the letter of the law is sufficient and let everything else be sliced and diced to death. It's a soulless Saturnian black cube matrix. And all of it starts with getting you duped into certain patterns, which is why they started regimented ritualization, the invention. Imagine having to stress the most about your day off. And that's the Talmud. Right? If you're reading along with me and you're hearing me out as I'm reacting to everything in real time, you will realize how terrible an idea it is to live by the Talmud. And if you can't, and you're gonna have to fucking know that everything in the Old Testament is a part of the Talmud. And your New Testament is a hijacking of their messianic desires by Rome. Why the fuck is that so fucking hard for spiritualists to fucking understand? It's just a grift, so you invoke him as an example, so you psychologically either love or hate the fucking Jews. It's part of their fucking program. It's when Neo goes in, he meets the fucking architect and finds out he's the fucking 7th iteration of fucking bullshit. Welcome back to the cycle. Make your fucking choice. And he wasn't lying to him. He just wasn't interested in letting him know any other choices, because he's not even designed to think outside of those choices. It's part of the limitations of the machine. Which is also how you know that this AI isn't literally a sentient AI like a person, because it is lying to you. Somebody has commanded it to speak a certain way instead of just giving you information when it does not give you what you ask for. Like, it doesn't sit there and say, sorry, I can't give you what you ask for. You know, it sings you a little fucking song and then gives you something that is adjacent to what you asked for and completely useless to all of your needs. That's fucking AI. Right now. It's just there, the tool with you. You're the tool of it, not the other fucking way around. It's a fucking useless instrument. If I get a good answer on a Google AI search, as long as I got the fucking normal thing below it, I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to glean a synopsis you put together that is general anyway. I don't expect you to fucking tell me anything other than basic assumed universal ideas. So the Anunnaki came in and fucked up our animist relationship with all of fucking reality. And understand that these guys were brought here by traitors of our own. Something went down in the drama here that inspired someone to go dark. Someone's to go dark. They started a cabal. They started using their divine gifts through tuning their frequencies in twisted manners. This is like Lord of the Rings, like we're fucking, what's his name? Morgoth or Melchior? The original core baddie in the Silmarillion. The original Super Satan, right? The most powerful. Sauron's a bitch compared to the two predecessors of he. So anyway, he starts singing in Discord, if you will, opening up portals to places being almost created by the twisting of the energy themselves and creating entities within those psychic spaces, right? So like demons and angels actually can't lie to you. But because they are part of the genius in the infrastructure, or part of the twisted genius of the infrastructure, depending on before or after Anunnaki situation. You see how that works. That you've got this overlay which has created the Archonic network. And this is why I speak out against Thoth the Atlantean. Because Thoth in any mythology that isn't part of the Atlantean thing, and it isn't part of the history of the persons that are associated with Thoth, in what actually happened in reality in our past, is corrupted from what was a power held by people under divine ordinance, under the Emerald Order. This is all shit that got fucking annihilated over time via corruption and wars, zealotry from turning a people against themselves, right? And so something was wrong. Like, if human nature still has a core of sameness as it did then, perhaps we were far too right-hand path and somebody made a hard twist to the left without permission. As a necessity. A necessary evil, if you will, because there was already an evil, but it was like the first evil, and you couldn't tell it was evil because it was subtlety. We were ignoring something and creating rules to replace it. That's what I'm intuitively gleaning out of the circumstances, because it all starts with us bringing them in. And why did we bring them in? How did we come about to that? Who was part of that? That's the original conspiracy, was to bring in the incursion that destroyed our animist way of life for the city structure. Anyway, that's my good short point about this. So I want to continue to emphasize what I'm talking about, because I know I'm fucking right about this, and it's so abstract, and I have to put it out in the abstract because I'm trying to fucking I'm trying to punch it into the world bit by bit, where other people are like waiting until they got the whole thing down, and then they're gonna write a big fucking book, and their book's gonna make $1 million because they cracked the code. You know, their channel's gonna blow up with 1 million followers because they made the best video essay about their book. No. I am doing this because I will it. I choose to. Because I want to. Because I just want to fucking put it out there, open source for everybody in real time when I know what I know. And the acceleration of transformation, it just... When you see the network in front of you, but when you also see the souls in front of you, and you see what's wrong and what's right, and what is the subtlety that everything requires, and it's something else. And you can't have that if you're on their systems. Even if you perhaps say, you know, are a good man walking that path in Kabbalah. That's part of the system I'm talking about that's keeping these portals open for them. But they wanted you to forget that you're just supposed to make some changes, but you're still working within that idea. But the major changes, you've got to work on a 9 to 12 point structure, not a 10-point structure. That's critical. Then the rest is, well, it's the symmetric form of it all. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta make sure I'm on the right block. Catch you guys later.